morning, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. It's it seemed this little break seemed a little bit longer from last week to this week. However, I am excited to be back. So good having everybody. Thanks for being here. I hope the comments are working. I'm not quite sure. We're just gonna go. No, it's not. So let's see. Mm, maybe, maybe that works. Uh, Not sure. Anyway, I guess I didn't figure it out yet. Anyway, let's get into the topic. Today's topic is change your perspective, change your life. Maybe do me a favor, test out the comment section for me, see if it works. If not, someone can help me later, all right? So, that's the topic today. Change your perspective, change your life. You know, life happens to everybody. Um, Thanks, Rita. That was awesome. So life happens to everybody, you know. Situations happen. We call it life. It happens, and I promise you, even to the ones you think are highly successful, life happens. It all happens. This is the different though. When I started studying the wealthy to, at one time when I'm struggling to get things going, when my family was in a horrible situation, we've been there. We've experienced that. We've all have. Even in this crazy times right now, we experience funny things. And I looked at the two groups of people: those who have gained big time success and those who are on the way to. This is the difference between the two: is the stories they attach to what happens to them in their life. Right? Life happens to everybody. The difference is the stories that we attach to what happens. Right? I used to say life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond. Um, Man, now as I get older and wiser, I'm starting to think it's 100% how you respond and has nothing to do with what happens to you. Is 100% how we respond to it. And it brings me back to this one audio that one of my favorite speakers, Tony Robbins. I listen to all his material, and it's probably what got me onto the journey of personal development. He told this story once on the stories we tell ourselves. And I believe it was a true story. He was telling there's three people that got shot down in war, and they were held in these confined containers, just big enough for you to stand, big enough for you to lay down, and that's about it. So you probably eat on one end and take care of your business on the other end, and that was about it. And three of them got held in three different cells, and one of them couldn't stand it anymore. He didn't make it out of the cell. He passed away in there. He took his own life. The second one, the other two got rescued actually, and the second one lived out the rest of his life in a mental institution. And the third one came out more fit, more sharp than when he went in. And the difference, he goes, how can the same thing happen to all three different people, yet such different result came out of the same incident? Is because life is not what happens to us, is how we respond, right? Even the story of Nelson Mandela. How do you get locked up for all those years and you get let out and you don't want to do bad things to people, right? Like that guy obviously had a way of communicating with himself that better served him than someone else that could have been caught in that situation. So now when things starts happening, we can choose. We can go, what story do I want to attach to this situation? And if that story gets attached to that situation, does that serve me or does it not? And it happens in all different things, the largest to the smallest things. I'll give you even one of my own. I got I got pulled over the other day. There's a funny part in town where the part of the road is higher speed and then it slows down for a short section and then it resumes again. So no idea why that is. However, I got pulled over because didn't follow the rules. And the old self, my old self, guess what I would say? I go, okay, maybe the roads are put that way just to uh, get me a ticket, or maybe you should go focus on catching some real criminals. These are the stories that I could and have at one time attached to a situation like that. Now, as I'm a little wiser too, the story I attached was, okay, well, guess what? I was speeding, and thank you for slowing me down, because who knows what could have happened? I could have gone an accident. I could have, it could have been bad. It could have meant a lot of not very positive things for a lot of people. So, you know what? Thank you for doing that. And this is the stuff that was going on in my head, right? Is the energy that I was putting out. It wasn't what I was saying to the officer. However, by me thinking that way, feeling that way, and that was how I communicated myself. Obviously, I came across very different to the police officer, and being don't I don't know if I should say this on recorded video, being almost 30 kilometers over. It was a 90 section down to 60, back up to 90, right? So I end up getting a let go, a be safe warning, which, come on, like that stuff doesn't really happen a lot to me, right? So when I look at that situation, just by attaching a different story to something that happened, it could really dramatically change your outcome. Not that I did it to get out of a ticket. Even if I did get a ticket, my attitude would have been the same. Thanks for slowing me down. Who know what could have happened? And I just find that that story attached to situations like that could way better serve me than being bitter, right? So I understood this concept for a while. Now, what I've done since is took it to a step further and started attaching certain meanings, not just to situations. However, I attach meanings to certain words, to certain feelings, and I find that serves me even at a higher level. So I'll give you an example. Let's say one of the words is work. When we say work, guess what most people think? You think it's a positive story attached to that word, or a not so very positive feeling attached to that word, right? And how about the word no or rejection? You see, we don't see rejection as rejection anymore. I see it as feedback to course correct, or a chance to work on my sense of humor, right? We're all going to get rejection. So why attach a story to it that, immobilize me, as opposed to attach a story to it to give me a solution driven type focus on what can I do better, right? How about adversity? Every time adversity shows up, a lot of people we see can shrink and move backwards and retreat. Where adversity to me now is okay. It's here to test on how strong I am. As a matter of fact, I have a belief system where there's nothing that's put in front of me that I cannot handle. So this adversity, all it is a chance for me to grow. It's a chance for me to overcome that, right? How about setbacks? You see all these things, nervousness, right? All these things we see at that moment, the successful will choose to head on and continue and overcome and become bigger. And there's the opposite also in retreating. So I break it down to certain feelings and words, and I communicate with myself. If I don't like how it feels, I need to start attaching a better story to it so that next time it comes up, I feel better about it. I look at it in a positive light on how it can serve me. Nervousness, I love that. That means I'm out of my comfort zone. As a matter of fact, if it's not something that caused me to become nervous, it's probably not even worth doing because I'm not growing anymore. All right. So everything, not just situations anymore, certain words and certain feelings that pop up, I learned to attach a different story and a different meaning to it. And that's been serving me and that's been helping me. Right. So that's kind of my message today is change your perspective, change your life. Certain situations can happen and you can choose to let it serve you. Certain words pop up due to previous programming that might not serve you, might trigger you to think a certain way that's not positive. You can rewire that. Certain feelings that sometimes in the past might have held you back, rewire that, attach a different story to it so those feelings that come up now can propel you forward to one day for you to ultimately live the life that you meant to live. So that's my message today. I hope that served you today. If you like it, once again, give me a thumbs up. Fire me off a comment. The comments really help, by the way, because it really helps me guide on what to talk about next time, right? And that will be Friday morning at 9 a.m. So your feedback does mean a lot. And if you do like it, share it, please, because you never know who can use this message, okay? Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for joining me this morning. We'll see you guys soon, okay? Friday morning, 9 a.m. We'll see you then.